Good afternoon, monkeys. Here we are with another video in our RCT Classic series for iPad. A lot of cool stuff in this one. We're going to start a new section. We kind of ended off the last one with this area. And yeah, here we're going to be doing some editing out and kind of rethinking what this area is going to look like. There's a lot of terraforming that's going to happen in this video. But yeah, if you're just joining in, this is the 5th video in our series. We've been doing this now for about a week and a half. I keep saying we, like who are we? Am I, greater than thou? Anyway, yeah, so I've been doing these videos now for about a week and a half, and here we are creating this new setup, this new park here. So something to do while we've got quarantine happening in the world, right? So as we progress through here, we're going to create some natural boundaries. As you're going to see, we're doing a lot of terraforming, a lot of land changing with the ground there. And the whole inspiration for this section, and you're going to see the very, very end of what we do here, but the whole inspiration for this section really comes down to building an quote-unquote island, right? And that's the type of feel we want to build here. You're going to see why we're creating this island in a moment. But here we are with the first ride for this area. This is going to be our quote-unquote weenie for this section. We're going to do a B&M launch coaster. And I got to tell you, it took me a couple of iterations of this ride to get it just right. So most of this video, you see me kind of going back and forth with a lot of different ideas and different ways that this video or this ride can be successful and generate not only great excitement, but also generate really good flow to your customer and get that smooth out there. But wanted to do a launch coaster for this area, and the whole idea is that it's going to be in and around this river, and you're going to have this lake area here where the coaster kind of goes through, and the whole intent is to create a very quote-unquote nautical feel. You can see going with this a little bit. You'll get the idea shortly. But as we bring this wrap on, this is where the issue starts to come in. So the whole first half of the coaster I really had down pat, definitely knew what I wanted to do. And then as we got into this area, it was just so odd for me to kind of get this 100%. I couldn't figure out what's the exact configuration I want to create. From element to element, you'll notice I do a gradual descending of each element. And in this one, it's set up as feet for any of my viewers that are from overseas. I usually do about a 20-foot difference, 15 to 20-foot difference between each element, especially inverted elements, just to give a really good floaty feel, not to have too extreme G-forces. And that's usually where the biggest challenge comes in when you're creating a coaster, right? You don't want those higher G-forces in the game because it'll make it too intense, and coasters that are too intense don't produce for you. Alright, so here we are as we progress, and again, just so stressful. I wound up deleting the whole thing and really go back to the drawing board. So as I fiddle around, I'm going to kind of discuss where we're going with the rest of this series. So what I'm thinking is, because I don't want to make the videos longer than 20-25 minutes, 17 to 20 minutes I think is ideal. So what I'm thinking is, this is going to go for quite a while. I'm going to break this area up into multiple parts, and each time I create a new area, I'm going to create a series within a series, if you will, and be multiple parts. So this will be part 1 of this particular area, and who knows how long this will go. If you look at the timeline now, I'm in year 10, April year 10 of the park, and this park, or this game, the way it works is each year is an hour, technically. So I've been going for about 10 hours now, and the last time I built a park, my last park, it was a total of 137 years. So do the math on that. Right, so 137 hours of building a park. So for each area, I'm going to create a different series within the series, and I think that's going to be the best way for us to kind of create this whole setup here for our coasters. But yeah, so what's going on in the world today? There's a lot of craziness going on out there. You know, we were just discussing it, you know, over lunch, and it's quite interesting. You know, from a theme park standpoint, you saw theme parks going forward with their announcements or potential, you know, things that are popping up in the news. You know, I saw today Dorney Park just filed for a potential new construction with Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is awesome. And it looks like, if any of you are familiar, and if you're not, I'll throw it down in the links below, a link to the YouTube video for it. But ZDT down in Texas, they have a ride called Switchback. You know, it's a gravity group roller coaster. It's a wooden roller coaster. It's a shuttle coaster with a lift hill and everything. It's actually really cool. So Dorney Park's going to be getting this coaster, which is going to be great. And I think what we're going to end up seeing there, hopefully, crossing our fingers, is a new coaster for 2021. As far as New Jersey's concerned, as of today, or 8 o'clock last night, excuse me, and here we are with the massive delete that's going to come. Get ready. But yes, as of 8 o'clock last night, all non-essential construction was canceled here in New Jersey. So the Jersey Devil Coaster, we're not sure. We haven't gotten any confirmation that construction is halted. So I'm hoping that it hasn't. I wonder if they're able to convince the county and convince the state that it is essential. Because, you know, my understanding it isn't, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. All right, here we are, deleting out all of that coaster and going back to the drawing board. So the whole first half is exactly what I wanted. And again, a very nautical feel. And here we are fiddling around a little bit. And I kind of love what I do with this portion here, how it comes out of that cobra roll. And then I wrap it around. I was going to wrap it around and build a stone mountain that this kind of weaves in and out of. And then I said, you know what? Nope, not going to work. So I took it all away. And again, this is the process, right? This is what happens when you're building coasters in these games, you're building anything in these games, it's all trial and error. And that's something I definitely want to make sure that I'm consistent in saying, you know, expect to not have it happen overnight. You know, it's not instantaneous. You know, you're not going to build a great coaster in 5 minutes. So here I am, and I think this is the final iteration of this portion here. So I built out the cobra roll. I definitely thought that was way too skinny. It was super odd. Build out the cobra roll here. And again, with that whole idea of having the mountain built up and around it, or this giant rock formation, or whatever it is, it kind of really stuck in my head. So as I build this out, you're going to see the cobra roll turns into a double inversion. I forget what these are called. If you can remember what they are, if you know what they are, do me a favor and put it down in the link down there. But that's the final idea that I went with. You'll see how cool this comes out shortly. But yeah, so coming out of that, I'm going to call it a serpentine inversion. I don't know what it is. I used to know what it is. I don't remember. But we go into a massive oversized loop, and then into the brake run, and then here's where over the water kind of create this very serpentine kind of twisty track, really just a mangling track is the idea we went for here, because I wanted it to feel very snake-like without being a snake. And again, I'm trying to give it away without giving it away, right? But yeah, and again, we wanted to weave up and over and around itself and kind of give a really twisted metal type feel. And here I am. And again, you'll see what I tend to do is I'll build out the brake run before that whole coaster is done, just so I know exactly where I'm going with that brake run, because I want to make sure that brake run, it makes sense, right? So here we are with the final tidbits. I love this part here. It comes up over and around and then under again. Look how awesome that looks. And it twists up and over on top of each other. I really love the way that looks. Here we're going to test it out super quick. Now, one thing with the launch coasters, you know, you're going to have to be mindful of that incline launch, or that launch lift hill, excuse me, that you're not going the full length because it will be too fast for the rest of the ride. I mean, unless you plan on extending it way past where the launch portion ends. But you'll see here, we ended up with an excitement rating of, I believe, 7 and an intensity rating 9. So we just increased the size of this this inversion here. I'm going to have to look this up. It's going to drive me crazy. But I can't remember what this inversion is called. It's the same inversion you'll get on Vekoma SLC, right? That you know, quintessential SLC that everybody hates, right? There we go. And I think this is the final time I make edits for Coaster. I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot of editing. But yeah, you kind of get the idea of what that looks like. Now, the intensity rating only went down a little bit, right? But that's good. We want it around that 9% mark. We want it to be an intense coaster because this is, you know, the thrill portion of the park, right? So moving into this next section here, you know, kind of looking at this coaster and watching it run, I want you to see exactly what it does here, right? So it drops down, comes up and over, and you see what those stats are. So max speed being 68 miles per hour. Ride length is 4,000 feet, which is pretty substantial. And then look at those G-forces there. So your max positive Gs are 4.14, and that's probably where we're getting a lot of this, the issue with the intensity rating. And the same thing with the lateral Gs there at 2.53. That's pretty high. So we could go back and edit that, but I actually wanted it to be a little bit more intense. And I think that comes out of this particular inversion right here. So, but now we're going to build up the terraforming here. And this is, you know, my way that I build out quote-unquote Rockwork, right? You know, some of our best coasters in the world from a theming standpoint have amazing Rockwork, have amazing theming, and this is going to be exactly the same thing here. And you want it to be jagged. You know, the whole idea is think very coral, like a giant coral reef, maybe that got pushed up in an earthquake, and that's what this is here. It's a giant mountain, you know, configuration of just rock, and that's the whole idea we wanted to create with this section here, so that this particular coaster, which the name will reveal after we reveal the theming, is going to be intertwining up and around this. And then in some other areas, there's some rock formations that we're going to create. So it feels like, you know, you're in the side of an island or on an island that's maybe a volcanic island, and the flat portions of the crevices in between where the rock was pushed up in the geothermal activity. You know, think very abstract and very crazy. And that's kind of the direction we're going to go with this entire area. A very tropical island that it's a volcanic island, you know. So that's what happens, right? So we are continuing to build up our rock here, and what I love about this is, you know, it gives a very interesting look. Like, it looks like Rockwork, right? So you do this with the gray rock, and you can get different types of feelings for it. I like this more volcanic looking floor, like this asphalt-esque floor in the gray, but you also have the brown rock as well, and that works really well for the side of mountains and such in any type of, let's say, alpine area or an alpine biome, right? So this particular biome, this particular area and biome that we wanted to create, being more tropical feeling, is going to have more of this like volcanic rock. And one thing that you can also do that I've done in the past, for a dinosaur area, I had meteors that had fallen from the sky, and they had implanted and crashed down in different areas of the biome. And what I used was also the red rock coloring to create a variation in the color of the rock to make it look like it was still hot and smoldering, which was pretty cool. All right, now going to the whole idea of having an entryway that's really pronounced and really dramatic, what I decided to do here was have another rock formation just outside of the exit from the main plaza. So as a guest, you walk out of that main plaza, you know, it does open up, but all you see in front of you is this giant rock formation and a tunnel that goes through the rock formation. right? So that's what I wanted to create here. I wanted it to be very different. I wanted it to be a huge surprise. When you walk out of this rock formation and walk onto the bridge that crosses over the river, you know, it's total immersion into a different world, you know, and that's what we want to create here, right? We want it to be complete immersion. You can see we've got the hill up here on the left-hand side. This hill is going to be part of the berm that the monorail is going to run on, and we'll run that around the corner there. But yeah, there is the bridge that will walk into this area, the wooden plank bridge. Give you some more hints as to what our theme is going to be. And yeah, so that's that portion there. And then moving on here, we're going to create another one of these rock formations that goes up. And I wanted this to be like a raw volcanic cliff. So we kind of built this all the way up, similarly to the way we did around that inversion setup there. And my vision for this, I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to have a number of houses, which they're quote-unquote houses, but it's actually going to be an in-resort hotel that we're going to create, which will be pretty cool. And that hotel will be up and down either side of the coaster, of the launch of the coaster. And what that's going to create is a massive hallway or tunnel that this coaster is going to go up, similarly to Islands of Adventure's Hulk, the Incredible Hulk ride, right? But we're going to do that with buildings. That'll go all the way up on either side, which will be pretty cool. And we'll have them connected by like bridges and stuff, and you know, just to give a really different feeling to this, right? So as we're building up this terrain, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, where these buildings are going to be sitting, how they're going to be set up, and again, I want to create a very striking visual experience for the guests and clientele. So again, it's all immersive, right? So as you're walking through this biome, you can't see outside of it because you've got this giant, you know, rock formation, you know, right in the center, and all you get to see is, when you walk in on your right hand side, is the river, and on the opposite side of the river is the berm that goes up. And when you're in the center of this biome, all you see is the coaster and this giant rock formation, right? And that's the whole intention here. We want it to be very immersive for the guest that walks through the park. Now what I'm thinking for this side too is, as I build down the side of the this rock formation here, I'm thinking about how I'm going to have the building set up. So I'm probably going to line it straight up at the center there, where the coaster shoots up on either side, and then build it out from there, which should give a really good feel. Alright, now here we are, so keeping with the whole island-esque theme, just throwing some different ground paintings here, and that's the intention. We want to have a really immersive type of feeling, and we want it to be different, right? We don't want it to look like the rest of the biome, or the rest of the park, I should say. We're just making up that lake a little bit bigger, and I'm thinking I might even push that back a little bit further as well. I want it to close off a little bit more, but we'll see what direction I decide to go with that. Now here I'm testing it just to see if that any of the Rockwork that we had put in had changed the statistics of the coaster, and they did. You see it jump from 7.08 to 7.22, and that's going to continue to increase as we put more and more scenery in and around it. I love the way this coaster looks too. It's so twisty and just dramatic all the way around. It's just a really great feel. I wonder if anyone else out there, if it's only me, that I wish I could ride the coasters that I make. So here we are, throwing the theme in. And as you can see, we are going with pirates. So it's going to be pretty cool. Picture very much so complete immersive experience, Pirates of the Caribbean-esque, but we're going to create an entire pirate island, which will be really cool. This whole left-hand side here along the rock formation, we're going to put buildings, and then on the right here, this is going to be where the entrance to the coaster is going to be. But I may change this around as well. I may push it to the opposite side of the loop there, and have the whole right-hand side be shops and stalls and stuff, and have it just and a ride as well. So this way you'll have in the forefront a ride right there, and behind it, you know, the massive coaster, and that'll be, you know, what you walk into your entryway and what you see of this particular section of the park. Now this, I love doing this. So in this portion here, I was thinking, okay, obviously we want the pirate ships down in the water, right? But what if, just like on the other side, this pirate ship got stranded on the rocks as well, and the coaster runs through and around it? So that's what I started creating here. Granted, it's on the opposite side of the water, and again, we want to create, you know, different feelings on either side, right? We don't want to have the same feeling crossing on either side of the lake. But since the monorail is going to run right past this, it's okay to build on this side of the river here, the lake. Now here's a cool trick too. Whenever you build something, you get that nasty grating underneath. You could then take your small bushes and throw the small bushes underneath it and pile them on top of each other until the black grating goes away. And this way it'll be suspended there. You see me here trying to... I don't understand. Grr. And then I got it. But yeah, and I didn't mind them suspending because I built them up from the bottom up. So the whole idea was, you know, think green and mossy. And this pirate ship's been here for a long time, right? So it's okay that it's super green and mossy all over it. We might even throw some of that on it as well. And then obviously all those rough edges you see around the bottom, we're going to cover with this green mossiness also. So from a landscaping standpoint, expect a lot more. And here we are building out the rest of the berm for the monorail. And setting up what our walkway from our Pirates area is going to look like going into the next area, which we haven't figured out exactly what that's going to be yet. But the verdict's out on a couple of great possibilities. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Looks like we're pushing on close to the end of it. Again, this is our next area. We've been working on this one for a while. I can't anticipate this one getting done super quick. I think the last time I did a section similar to this, it took me about 20 hours. So you can expect that to happen. But yeah, so as we move through this and I throw in the last bits here of our pirate area, I want to say thank you for joining us. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. I'm on all of the platforms. Coaster Monkey Studios on all of them. And thanks so much for joining us, and catch you guys next time.